Question number 2. Hey, Dr. Islam, my burps smell like death. Whoa! My goodness. Maybe TMI. Why do my burps smell so bad? So let me know in the comments, have you suffered from what are called sulfur burps or rotten egg burps or things like that? Let me know in the comments if this is you or if you know somebody who suffered from that as well. Very common problem that can occur for a lot of people, and they see me for this because they just have these burps that just smell terrible. They want to know what is going on. These are called sulfur burps. Very common problem to occur. Why does this occur? Well, a couple different reasons. Number 1, it can be related to foods that you eat. Absolutely. If you have foods that are high in sulfur, guess what's going to happen? You're going to have burps that are high in sulfur compounds as well. These foods include things like dried fruits. They cause very commonly sulfur burps. Number 2, red meat or even all meats. If your diet is a carnivore diet, you're going to have a lot of sulfur compounds being ingested. That's going to be expelled as burps. And it can even occur with chicken as well and pork. But it's typically these very red meats or pork that really cause these sulfur burps to occur in terms of foods. Number 3 are canned foods. Foods that you get in a can can have preservatives that can make you more likely to have sulfur burps as well. And number 4, even certain vegetables, specifically cruciferous vegetables, have a high component of sulfur compounds in them. And if you ingest these, they're difficult to digest. They cause bloating, and they can cause sulfur burps as well. And then lastly, certain drinks like alcohol have certain grains that can cause sulfur burps to occur as well. Those are the food category. The second category that can cause really stinky burps are certain digestive conditions that you may have, or medical conditions, like a condition like irritable bowel syndrome or IBS. IBS can predispose you to have really stinky burps and just make it difficult to keep that in. Number 2 is that you could have an infection in your stomach called H. pylori. H. pylori is a very common bacterial infection that can occur, can cause sulfur burps, pain, indigestion, and has a chance of going into ulcers and cancer as well. Number 3 is that you could have a condition called small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, or SIBO. This is a very common condition. We're seeing this in a lot more people, in which you have a predominance of bad bacteria that overwhelms the good guys, and that can cause a lot of fermentation and gas and sulfur burps to occur. All right, now that we talked about what causes it, what can you do to fix those rotten burps? Okay, first tip, obviously number 1, avoid the foods that cause sulfur burps. Meats, get them out. Number 2, get rid of those high producing sulfur burps vegetables like cruciferous vegetables. Get rid of them. Remove those canned foods. Remove those other items that can cause sulfur burps. Eliminate dairy products. These are things that tend to cause these sulfur burps to get worse and come on. Number 2 is that you need to treat the underlying condition. If you have an infection like H. pylori, get it checked, get it treated, get rid of it. If you have small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, get rid of it as well. We have options for that. If you have IBS, we have different mechanisms to get that taken care of and hopefully get that resolved as well. Number 3, consider adding turmeric to your diet. Turmeric is a fantastic anti-inflammatory treatment that we give. In fact, I spoke to a patient today who's asking me my tips on what we can do to decrease inflammation. One of the best things that you can do is to add turmeric in your diet. Natural powdered turmeric has been shown to decrease inflammation and help out with gut issues. Number 5, add green tea. Green tea, especially green tea that has some mint, has been shown to help decrease inflammation inside your gut and allow things to move on and help out with gut issues as well. Number 5. I apologize. Number 5, add chamomile tea. Chamomile tea, I use this all the time. It works really well for indigestion and helps out with gut issues as well. And also try ginger root, or ginger tea, or adding ginger, or even sucking on ginger itself can really help out with the digestion, decrease the amount of bloat, and decrease those bubbles that are causing sulfur burps as well. Consider adding a lactose enzyme like Lactaid. This works great, especially if you have lactose intolerance. And then lastly, over-the-counter Beano works fantastic. Beano is my secret weapon when it comes to bloating and gas. Beano has the highest concentration of a substance called simethicone, and simethicone is an anti-gas buster. Boom! It gets rid of that gas, and Beano is one of the more effective ways. But these are my tips to get rid of that rotten smell inside your belly and to prevent gas from getting worse.